Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Michelle Taylor. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm excited to talk today.
All right. Well, we're excited to listen. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started?
Oh, wow. Well, if I'm being honest, would have never found myself in the role that I'm in today. And I think that I quickly decided that in order to get the kind of guidance that I needed to build the life that I wanted to build, I was going to have to become that person instead of finding somebody to emulate. So after a lot of pivots, I found myself in a position of being able to help other women build their financial future.
Well, that is awesome. So let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us about the business now.
So I do consulting and wealth management in the traditional sense, but also through the lens of what that means when you're a woman. So Women in Wealth is a separate community platform that I developed to make sure that women had access to resources, education, tools, community to not allow anything to be a roadblock to the financial future that they want to build.
That is awesome. So who's an ideal client for you other than the fact that they're female?
Yeah, I mean, and I will say I love working with the guys as well, but an ideal client is really somebody that understands that there's a lot that they're probably leaving on the table. They've got the disciplines in place that it requires to build wealth and a financial future, but don't really know where to start, or have done all of the right things and are now asking themselves, what else comes after this?
That makes a lot of sense. How are those folks finding you?
They are finding me on Instagram, on my podcast I also have called Talk Wealthy to Me, and through word of mouth.
Talk Wealthy to Me. That's a great title. How did you decide to do a podcast?
Thank you. Well, I am really passionate about reaching as many people as I can. And in this ever evolving and changing environment, people are seeking out podcasts at a much higher rate than ever before. So I thought that that might be the best place to reach as many people as I possibly could.
And obviously we're biased and think that you're right. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that these women are making when it comes to their money that you're helping them solve?
Well, oftentimes women are raised to believe that we are more conservative, that we don't do as well with numbers or understanding money. And it's not something that's an intentional conversation. It oftentimes is just passed down generation to generation. So when I'm talking to women, a lot of the time they have far too much cash on hand. They're not putting it to work for them, or they are investing, but in a really conservative manner because they think that that's what they're supposed to do.
And then you've got an in-depth process that kind of takes them through not just a traditional, let's invest your money differently, but almost like a coaching aspect. Can you talk a little bit more about how you're relating and working with and helping them?
Yeah, so a lot of times we are our own worst enemies, and I'm sure that that is not news to you. And I think that what's important for me to show them is being a product of a divorced home with a mom who was doing the best she could, but didn't give me much of an education, and then a father who was an entrepreneur, but also was really good at making money, but not great at investing it. And then being kind of pushed out of the nest into the world and opening up credit cards and not understanding the ramifications. No one taught me these things. And so I really hope that what people can see in working with me is it's never too late. You're never far behind. It's just about making the next best decision for yourself and for your future.
I love that it's never too late. You just have to make the next best decision. I love that is a writer downer. I love that quote. So let's talk to us about the actual company, about your team, how all that stuff works.
Yeah, so Women in Wealth is meant to be a place that is a community where women can ask the questions. They can raise the hand, not feel like they are not belonging because they don't know. It's also a place where my goal is to have every resource that's out there available so that women, maybe they're not at a point where they're talking about private equity or private credit, venture capital, any of those things. But that doesn't mean that they can't learn about it now. So, my goal in creating this is that women can come in, they can self teach as much as they would like to digest at any given time, and then be surrounded by other like minded women who are changing the narrative and the conversations that we're having. We are doing a lot of work in just understanding the experts that you need to have at your table, building out your own personal board of directors so that you've got the right people in the right seats to make sure that you're getting to the place that you want to go. And then obviously, just having the community to bounce ideas off of each other and hopefully find other ways, creative things that other people are doing to grow their wealth that you may not have thought of before. So exposing you to a lot that's out there without you necessarily having a one-on-one engagement.
Awesome. And is that community, is it online? Is it in person? Is it local to you? Talk more about how that works.
It is online, and we do a lot of virtual master classes and Q&A sessions. And then I'm based in Florida. We do a lot in person here, and there are a lot of in-person events coming all over the country, which we're really excited about. But yeah, it's a little bit of both.
That's awesome. I love the hybrid approach. So then are there other, like you bring in other guest speakers who come teach on their topics?
I do, because what is so often missed in this world is not only is it important to grow your wealth, but how are you protecting it? How do you own your assets? How are you ensuring that you're partnering with the right attorneys to have the right structuring? Those are conversations, looking at the insurances that you have to protect you and your family. If I'm helping somebody grow their wealth and then something silly happens and someone's able to take it, I really haven't done them much of a service. So my goal is to make sure I'm bringing in as many people as I can that are considered experts, depending on what stage of life you're in, estate planning, tax planning, and strategy. Even talking to people about real estate investing, lenders, credit experts, just overall, really trying to double down and provide as much as we can, regardless of the industry or stage of life someone is in. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And then, of course, they've got to actually apply that knowledge to make some positive change that you're suggesting. So you've helped many, many women achieve financial freedom, achieve financial success. What's your biggest challenge now?
Oh my goodness. I would say, are you meaning personally or with the business?
Whichever one you're comfortable answering. Let's start with the business.
I will say both. So with the business, it's really trying to figure out how to help as many people as I possibly can, while at the same time remembering that I've got, a personal life and kids and trying to juggle all of that. So Definitely the challenge is time management, but I think I've got a good plan to move forward.
Awesome. What causes are you passionate about?
So I had leukemia when I was 17 years old. It was out of the blue, very unexpected. And for me, it was a game changer. I just got off the phone with somebody and they said, I'm so sorry you went through that. And I said, well, actually, I consider it a huge blessing because it changed my approach and just my outlook on everything in life. So for me, I think it's really important to pour back into that community. I am really passionate about a cause called Tiny Superheroes. A very good friend of mine is spearheading this, and it is basically to provide capes and allow kiddos that are going through the challenges of juvenile cancer diagnoses to have something to work towards to encourage and um, allow them to still find the playfulness that can help them heal. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about. It is so needed. There's a lot of attention that just in general cancer causes get, but how do we involve the family and the kiddo and bring play back into it? I'm really excited about what she's doing there.
That's beautiful. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I genuinely love impacting and changing the trajectory of women's relationship with money. I would say that, getting those messages from clients that say, this was a game changer, either if it's a tax strategy that's helped them, or they've accomplished a big goal for themselves, or even just allowing them the space to learn and change their money story moving forward. I came into this because I didn't have the example. I had a few examples that had small pieces that I kind of had to put together. But I think the overall mission of Women in Wealth is to allow women to become the example they never had and to be able to see that in real time. Do it for the young eyes that are watching us, my nieces, my daughter. I think that that makes what I do so rewarding and exciting every single day.
100%. Talk a little, tell us more about how the podcast works, how the show works, and where we can go listen to it.
So, Talk Wealthy to Me, it is a podcast based on hopefully giving the audience tactical things that they can take and apply immediately, but also really talking to women that have achieved a level of success that doesn't have to look like someone else's. So, I think that right now with social media and everybody's the main character in their story, it's very easy for people to say, well, this business had an exit for, $200 million. And if I'm not there, am I really successful? I want women to understand that true success comes at the planning and vision of the individual, not of the masses. And to tell that story, I want to unpack what are the mistakes that you made? What are the great things that you could tell the audience that may save them from making a mistake? And then what is next for you on this journey? And I release new episodes every Thursday, and of course, can find us on all of the normal places.
Awesome. So for our folks watching or listening, where can they go to learn more about you, about the community? And obviously we'll send them to the Talk Wealthy to Me podcast, but where can they go to learn more about, like, what's the company or the community website?
Yeah, womeninwealth.co, not com. And then also on Instagram, that's the easiest place. Women_in_wealth is where you can find me.
Awesome. This has been Seth Greene with Michelle Taylor from Women in Wealth. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.